I have a Patreon shout out to do, and I don't know if I'm going to get this right, but we will attempt it. Before we begin, thank you very much to Eobard Thawne for joining the Patreon campaign. I hope I came close. But thank you very much for the support. I say it a lot every time this comes up. I mean it every single time. The whole reason I can keep doing these daily for everybody is because of the Patreon. I thank you for anything that you guys can contribute to that. It has helped me out tremendously. And Eobard has pitched in at the highest level, so you can go ahead and DM me a request over on Patreon for whatever video you want me to do. I have a few interesting ones that have come in recently that I'm actually kind of excited for. So hopefully we will see those soon, depending on what happens in the week and how my schedule falls. But that is then. This is now, where I'm still stuck in this. I know I'm figuring out this is a whole new setup that I've got going on for my YouTube everything. So you will excuse me if this is kind of ramshackle and still in a work in progress. You will not be staring at PNG TJ much longer, I promise you that. But for today, we need to talk about the news of the week for Transformers, and it starts off with one of the more unusual of any of the collaborative pieces. The NFL crossovers that were previously rumored have now been revealed, and they are pretty much what you would expect. They are Transformer characters, not real ones, but like brand new made up ones for this line, who transform into football helmets, and everyone given their own unique name. The Dallas Cowboy helmet is called Star Blitz, for instance. This is Tundra Prime for the Green Bay Packers, which honestly not a bad little color scheme on him. Definitely amusing. For the Kansas City Chiefs, it's KC59. I'm sure that's a reference to something. It's the only one that's using a number and not like an actual like Transformer sounding name. And then for the Pittsburgh Steelers, you have Steel Smash, which I guess is about as appropriate for a Steelers based Transformer as it gets. You can see that all of them come with a football. All of them are the same mold, just different paint jobs. And it's basically what I kind of expected. Like, what else are you gonna do with a collaborative like this? The helmets apparently do come off, so you can actually get to see what they look like underneath. They might actually have different, they might actually have different face sculpts. Yes, they do. Okay, so at the very least, they have different face sculpts, not just like straight up repaints. So, in my defense, I really don't like football. I don't like, there's most sports I don't really care for. So this is never going to be my thing. I do think it's cute for what it is. And depending on a color scheme, if one comes out in a color scheme I like, I might pick one up on a whim just to experience the mold. You know what would get me to buy one of these? Is telling me that these are the same size as Fort Max or Scorponok's head in the Titans. If you told me that these could actually attach to my Titan class Transformers, not as like a helmet for their head, but just like a replacement head, I would instantly be down for that. I would immediately be down for that. But barring that, this just seems like a weird little novelty piece, which, fair enough. Plenty of football fans out there. There's a lot of casual fans who will buy this just because it's a piece of memorabilia for their team. And that's the point. This is to get people to buy Transformers who wouldn't normally buy a Transformer. And football fans are dedicated. So you will absolutely get a bunch of these sold. And then we just have to wait and see if your favorite team gets a helmet soon. If they're doing this by popularity, even I know that, teams like the Cleveland Browns, and the Detroit Lions are going to be very, very, very long waits. But we'll see. You'll find out where your team is in the hierarchy based on how long it takes Hasbro to make the helmet for it. But speaking of Hasbro, we do have some updates. So we are aware that the HasLab Omega Prime is shipping out. This is actually quite a bit earlier than normal. So yeah, kind of amazing. We're getting this a lot quicker than we expected. Now, there are current events that we're not going to get into that may or may not have influenced the speed, but and that's what people are guessing. But I will tell you, odds are these were done months ago. These were shipped over months ago. Yes, not read into it too much, okay? Point being, they are just like every other Transformer of the last couple years, arriving earlier than originally expected. But there is an issue. We're just going to warn people right out of the gate that there's a major QC issue with Optimus Prime in general, and it has to do with the spine piece that extends to make the Omega Prime mode. Apparently there is not enough room in there for that to securely move, and it's causing some cracks to form in the midsection of Optimus Prime's standard robot mode. There are ways to fix it that you need to look up. It's a clearance issue inside the piece. It can be fixed. So if you are expecting your Omega Prime like I am, and I know a bunch of people who are getting their Omega Prime this week, yeah, just make sure that you look up the fix that you need to do. It will probably be a lot more refined by the time yours comes in. So hopefully it's just like a quick open the panel, file this down, and then the toy is fine. So keep an eye out for that, just to be aware. Yeah, there is a breakage issue on this, but it is fixable. Just do your research before you start messing with it too much. Okay, that PSA out of the way, let's take a look at Wild King. The entirety of Wave 1 is now out in Japan. The more I look at these, the more I want these, and it's just going to be frustrating to get a hold of, which is unfortunate. None of my usual US retailers are stocking these. My import shops are already sold out. This one's going to be tricky, but they look fun. I mean, yes, they are very, very simple figures, but unlike Hasbro and what we're getting with what is it, Cyberworld? Unlike Cyberworld, this is actually looking like it's simple, but in a fun way. Like, the toys feel like they were given a lot of imagination for their limited budget. And they just look fun. They just look fun. There's a lot of character to these, despite the simplicity and despite the heavy similarities on these. Yeah, looking at them without the individual parts, like, okay, yeah, you can tell these are just straight up the same mold repainted. Does not surprise me. And you can see the same thing of these two, though there are molding changes across certain details. So yeah, it's definitely a simplified line, but they're making the most of it. They're making the most of it. Yeah, here's what surprised me in these comparison pictures, because we've seen a bunch of these figures before. We've seen a lot of the photos of these toy lines. We don't really need to go on it too much because, there's only so many times you can see it. There is fully combined with all 4 of the energy beasts that are currently available. But what got to me is the size. Like, the standard size Optimus in this line stands head to head with the current Studio Series 86 Optimus, which is already a fairly large Voyager small leader class in that height range. But the combined mode is almost as big as Energon Prime, and that really took me off guard. I did not expect him to be that big. Okay, so that changes things. Now I'm a little bit more into this already. I was already into this just because it looked like a really fun toy line, but now, yeah, I want it more. Hopefully my usual shops restock it and it's not crazy to get a hold of. But that said, episode 4 of Wild King is now available on YouTube, and yes, I'm aware there's fan translations for it out there already if you want the actual plot. Though it really doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of plot to it. This one introduces the last of our Wave 1 characters in Hydrophant, but it also introduces 2 new, currently, they were named in the show, but Japanese, so I didn't pick them up immediately. This seems like the Spinosaur and the Lion that they were teasing previously. So both of them have now been technically revealed. Not all the way. We still haven't seen their beast modes or their combination modes. but this is what the Wave 2 is going to look like. So at least you get 2 of them out of the way. And we know there's still 2 more on the way. We are waiting for, what is it? We are waiting on a... Okay, I can remember the... Man, why am I blanking on the name of the dinosaur? I'm staring at one right now. Oh my god, Stegosaurus. Why did I blank on Stegosaurus? We're waiting for a Stegosaurus, and then there's one more mammal, and I can't remember the mammal offhand at all. It's been a day. So, cool. Get a little bit of a preview here. I don't normally report on sightings, but this one I feel is kind of important. The new deluxe wave of EarthSpark toys is currently out, which not only includes a second run of the Optimus Prime, but also a second run of Thrash, if you missed it the first time, as well as the brand new molds for Hashtag and Soundwave. Soundwave, in particular, looking amazing. This is frustrating to me because I feel like this wave is going to be very difficult to find, as a lot of stores aren't really bothering to get EarthSpark toys in anymore, especially now that the show is completely canceled. And it's a really good wave. Like, the Optimus Prime is a good figure. I didn't get the Thrash as a deluxe because I thought it was too much like the Warrior class version, but I do want to get that Thrash. And then, yeah, Hashtag and Soundwave both look really, really good. I really want both of them. I wouldn't mind buying this wave as a case if that's the option I had to be, and I just deal with having the extra Prime. I want the other 3 that badly. And it's just unfortunate because I don't think any of my area is going to get this in. So it's going to be jumping through hoops to get it online, which is going to be crazy. Hopefully these become a little bit more available, because as a last outing for EarthSpark, it seems like they went out on a really, really solid wave. Like, I like the look of this wave a lot. So, Transformers Eternal War had a closed beta, which now we have images for, so we get to see some of the visuals from the game, which we've already seen some of the designs here. Remember, they jumped around the franchise in a really weird way to get all of the mold inspirations for this, which leads to some interesting aesthetic combinations across these toys. But you get a look at some of the character roster here, you know, things like Swoop, RC, Hound, characters I don't even remember if we covered being announced for the game or leaked. We're getting Stunticons in the game, we're getting Constructicons in the game. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. See, look, like things like this. Things like this. So you've got an Ironhide that's based on his Studio Series 86 figure, right? And then you have First Aid, who's based on his Combiner War toy, because that's the most recent First Aid figure. Which is weird to me. You have a Jazz that looks made up. It looks like it's based on his, like, 3-0 figure or something. And then a Bumblebee that's based on what is his Titans Return figure? Why would you base it on his Titans Return figure? It's such a weird choice. You've got Huffer, who just kind of looks like a weird Huffer. You've got Sideswipe, whose big chest forces me to believe they use the modern mold. Yeah. I mean, they don't look bad. They don't look bad. It's just the fact that, like, the aesthetics come from all over the place, you know? Like, okay, Earthrise Mirage, Earthrise Wheeljack, definitely. Commander Skyfire, and all this stuff is easy. 86 Grimlock, all that stuff is easy. What is up with your head? Wait a minute. What happened to Mixmaster? Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm sorry I'm using the reactive PNG for this, because my facial expression is probably priceless. What is with that head? Oh my god, it looks so bad. Oh, it looks like a knockoff. Oh my god, how many more of these? I can't handle more like that. All the Constructicons are like that. All the Constructicons have these huge heads. Why do they have huge heads? Did you base it on some weird third-party toy that's like that? Is that where you pulled those from? And Soundwave just kind of looks like Evergreen Soundwave. If anything, he's got details that point me toward the Masterpiece figure. And the Megatron is the Combiner Wars one, the leader class. Right down to the... Wow. Wow. They copied the sculpting of that toy right down to the ratchets, like the grooves in the teeth for the shoulders. That's weird. This game is weird. I want to try it, but this game is weird. Okay, so if you're watching this on the day it goes up, or happen to be the next morning, then you have a chance to participate in a Bob Budiansky AMA to promote the Transformers Compendium Set Kickstarter, which funded in 2 minutes, by the way. But yeah, AMA for the guy who created the original lore and the characterizations for almost everyone in G1. And just to check in on that, yeah, $3.1 million with 8 days to go. Funded in 2 minutes. Yeah, and it just went up as I was watching. As I was watching, the total went up. Okay, so there you go. That's super successful, but if you want it, the only way to get it is to get in on the Kickstarter. To my knowledge, it's not going to be mass-produced once this is finished, so good luck to you. If you want the gigantic book of comic books, there you go. MDLX showed off the official images for their upcoming Red Alert figure, retooled from their Sideswipe, which we've seen on these news roundups before, and it does look like a very good mold. MDLX is a fantastic figure line. You've got a lot of really, really nice detail, a lot of really good paint, good accessories. He comes with his brain shorting out accessories, which I think is the best thing to pack in with a Red Alert. I wish the face was a little bit more manic, and a little bit more panicky. It's kind of weird. His head's exploding, but he's straight-faced about it. Yeah, there he is, just taking orders from Starscream, because he doesn't know any better right now. Yeah, don't see an alternate face to express that. That's the only thing I would give this toy, is an alternate face to better express, like, those effect parts. But otherwise, really solid release for the Red Alert fans out there. Looking really, really nice. Okay, Yolo Park back with some new AMK kits. The couple new molds in this one, which is the Bumblebee that you see here, as well as their Tarn, looking very, very buff and powerful. Really, really good aesthetic on this one. So for this, there is also going to be an AMK Pro that's going to have better paint and die-cast parts, and probably more accessories as well. But AMK allows you to buy this at a much more affordable price point. They're also re-releasing the Optimus Prime and the Starscream that they had done as AMK Pro figures. However, they will be die-cast free, lesser paint jobs, and lesser accessories. So you won't have, you'll have, again, a more affordable option, but not as numerous of a figure. Not as a robust of an action figure experience. So keep that in mind, but it's going to be a good alternate way of getting some otherwise really, really nice figures for your collection. And on the opposite end of that spectrum, we have these Squeezling sidekicks. Now, we've seen Squeezlings before. These little soft plastic little Transformer figurines. But here they are being packed in with comic books akin to the Page Punchers that Todd McFarlane released. Interesting idea. I question why Optimus Primal comes with an issue that is not IDW Beast Wars, considering Cheetor comes with an issue of IDW Beast Wars. Bit of an odd choice there. And then, scrawny little Grimlock coming with a King Grimlock issue. Not a bad choice, at least. These things are weird. These things are just weird, but you know what? Fine. Little collectible things and a chance to get a free comic book along with them. Why not? I'm not going to begrudge it. But if you want to not know what you are getting, Zuru's Surprise has been released. Well, not released, but here's the official images of it. This is Series 1, so they are planning to do more. There are 10 to collect along with a rare Chase Bumblebee in vehicle mode. So it's all based on Evergreen design. You got vehicle mode for Soundwave. You got Megatron, whose arm cannon I still hate. Yeah, it's way too scrawny to be a Megatron arm cannon, I'm just saying. You got Bumblebee there in his evergreen design. Looks like there is a low amount of articulation to these. Or they're just built poorly, one or the other. You get a vehicle mode Bumblebee out in the collection. There's the Chase Gold Bumblebee, which actually doesn't look too bad. The Evergreen Optimus Prime, his vehicle mode, Starscream vehicle mode with a flight stand. Nice to think of that. Wheeljack, who I don't think has a robot mode figure in this wave. Yeah, weirdly enough, more vehicles than robots in this little surprise line. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but you know what? I don't think they care. It's just a gimmicky little surprise line, so whatever. I won't be grabbing it because I know my luck. If I grab 3 of these, one is going to be, I will get one that I want, one that I don't want, and then a dupe of the one I don't want. That's how it goes. But that's for you. Mystery blind box collectors. And that is going to be it for our news roundup for the week. So thank you everyone for watching. Like I said, soon we will be out of this no webcam phase, once I get enough time to work on it. But that will be soon. For now, thank you very much for watching. I will see you next time. Hello everyone, I am Astral Agent Magnetar, a Tokusatsu VTuber, and I am streaming 4 times a week over on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday afternoons, and a special late night one on late Friday/early Saturday. So come watch, come hang out, and let's make an impact together.